Well, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being here, and thanks for everything from the very start of this project, from when we first started thinking about it to here today celebrating our grand opening. My name is Kimberly Sherman-Stamler, President of Related BL. Welcome to Governor Baker, Mayor Walsh, Representative Livingstone, Councilor Zakim, and Councilor Savi George. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. We're thrilled to celebrate the opening of the Beverly. Families and residents have been moving in. The building is up and running. People are enjoying and are proud of their new homes. Strollers, joggers, dogs are going in and out of the building every day. They're loving the building and they're loving the neighborhood. The parks, the greenway, the transit connectivity, the waterfront, all that Boston has to offer is right here at the Beverly. And being here today and for the residents of the Beverly is thanks to the great leadership of everyone in this room. Building the Beverly over 93 was no easy feat. But this project is not just about the actual building. It's about the people that live their lives here, the people who make this building a dynamic environment, and the people who move and make the city happen the way that it does in so many ways. It's about the people in the building and about our great city. When Related BL set out to build a 100% income-restricted building, it was a true public-private partnership with everyone in this room. From the very outset. With Related's 40-year history in affordable housing, we were determined to build a fully income-restricted project in downtown Boston. In fact, when Related and BL became Related BL in 2013, it was at the top of our to-do list. The Beverly was truly a labor of love. It reflects the lofty ambitions of both Boston and of the Commonwealth, and of the goals, creativity, and focus of the Baker and Walsh administrations, and their exceptional teams, who rolled up their sleeves every step of the way to get this project done. Thank you. This project was complicated. Taking roll call on conference calls alone was a feat in and of itself. But this only further highlighted the commitment and the collaboration to make this project a reality. Thank you to everyone, not only for your partnership that we are all grateful for and continue to be grateful for, but for the vision to make this project happen. So thank you to everyone in this room. And I would name you all by name if we didn't have time constraints. Thank you to MassDOT, Mass Development, Mass Housing and the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, the Department of Community and Housing Development, the Boston Planning and Development Agency, the Department of Neighborhood Development, the Office of Fair Housing and Equity, the City of Boston, the Federal Highway Administration, the Affordable Housing Service Collaborative, Boston Capital, Wells Fargo, and Citibank. Thank you as well to all of our consultants and partners in the room, including Consigli, CVT, Maxal, Cosentini, and Related BL Construction. And a big thank you to the Related BL team. From inception to completion to project lease-up. I'm so proud of and energized by our team every day. Thank you to each and every one of you for your hard work, creativity, and teamwork. And every vision has an Oz, someone behind the curtain. A big thank you to Bruce Field Jr., President of Related, who has led so many initiatives at our company and made it very clear to me when I moved to his hometown that the growth of Related BL would include an early and continued focus on affordable housing. Thank you, Bruce. Finally, thank you to Bruce Beal Sr. and to Robert Beal, who paved the way on community development, innovation, and vision for our company repeatedly in the city of Boston. The Beal stamp is everywhere, and we are proud to work at a company where you have both always led by example. Thank you again to Governor Baker and Mayor Walsh. I would now like to welcome Mayor Walsh to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. It's important to thank people. I know that it prolongs the speaking portion, but a project like this doesn't happen without a lot of great people. I'm not going to repeat every single person Kim said, and I might add a couple people, but I want to, first of all, thank all of you in the room here today. I want to start with the governor and the Massachusetts Department of Housing and Community Development. Crystal, thank you very much for your involvement here. You're amazing, and this project would not have been there without all of us, all of you, I should say. Sheila Dillon, Chief of Housing for the City of Boston, who does an incredible job in the city. I say it every day. I'm fortunate to have Sheila with us because she really is making things happen in our city, so thank you, Sheila. The staff of the BPDA, all of you that are out there, Thank you, Brian Golden, the director. Thank you, Brian, and all the other folks that are here. I want to thank you. Anisha Sabi George, City Councilor Anisha Sabi George from the City Council also understands the importance of having more and more affordable housing in our city and workforce housing in our city and low-income housing in our city. So I want to thank her for being here today. And everyone in the Beals, I want to thank the Beals for your commitment to the city. It's exciting to see Related Beal have a bigger and bigger footprint in the city of Boston every day. I talk to Kim almost as much as I talk to Laurie about projects, so I want to thank him for what's going on, and thank all of you, both Bruce Sr. and Bruce Jr. and the entire Beal family, and everyone in this room who made this a reality, this project a reality. There's so many of you that have made this project a reality, so thank you for all of your work. This is a proud day. The Beverly is a historic development in the city of Boston. It's a major step towards our citywide housing goal, and we were talking about our housing goal 2 days ago, yesterday morning, and we were talking about our goal of 53,000 units of new housing by the year 2030, and we have 54,000 units either under construction, in the pipeline to start, or in the permitting process right now in the city of Boston. So we're shattering our goal, but our goal isn't meeting the need that we have to do, so we're doubling down and moving forward. We're also looking, this project creates much needed workforce housing, and as you can see, the location of this project, you don't need a car. You can pretty much eat in the North End if you want. You can work in the downtown Boston Financial District. If you want to work over in the Seaport, you can walk over to the Seaport. You can walk to the North Station area. It's a perfectly located building for so many people that when they work here, live here, play here, they'll have an opportunity to really experience the city. They can look out the window this side and they can see a beautiful North End neighborhood. They can look out the window this side, see the West End. They can see the Zakin Bridge behind us, and in front of us see what's happening in downtown. So it is pretty exciting. This beautiful new landmark shows the power of our inclusionary development policy. IDP contributions from Lovejoy Wharf Project, which is a Related Beal, and Hub on Causeway, which is Boston Properties, is part of making this project happen. It's a shining example of what we can do and we can achieve when the city and state and private development comes together. I was talking to Bruce a minute ago, and we were talking about the unique relationship that everyone talks about between the state and the city here in Massachusetts and Boston. It's not a unique relationship. It's the way it's supposed to happen. We're supposed to work off each other. We're supposed to be moving forward. We're supposed to be talking. We're supposed to be working to move our economies and move people forward. That's what our democracy is all about, and that's what we do here in Boston. And the rest of the country can look and learn from us, because it is about opportunities and collaborations and having phone calls. And that means also bringing in the private sector to have those dialogues and those conversations as well. And when you think about, when people ask what's going on in Boston and what's going on in Massachusetts, how come it's so special? It's because we're all on the same page most of the time. And we want to move our city forward and move our state forward and move our economy forward. So we're excited to do that. But we have more work to do when it comes to housing stock. We need to keep our city affordable, and this is helping us keep our city affordable. And it's also helping us maintain the amazing character of the different neighborhoods in the city of Boston and making our Boston neighborhoods more resilient. This project serves as a model. Throughout our neighborhoods, we want to see more options for people across all income levels, transit-oriented development, mixed-use development with amenities like retail and sustainable buildings, and vibrant communities for Boston's workforce. Again, I want to thank everybody who worked on this project and made this project a reality. I also want to give a shout out to the chair of the Boston Planning and Development Board, Tim Burke, is with us today. Thank you, Tim, for being with us today. I want to thank Related Beal, the Boston Planning and Development Agency, the Boston Department of Neighborhood Housing Development, the Mass Housing and Community Development Department, and everyone who's going to call Beverly its home. Now I have a great honor of bringing up the governor. And, you know, one of the things that, when I got elected mayor, one of the things that we inherited, and this isn't a bad thing, but we inherited a housing shortage, a historic housing shortage. And we got to work on it. We started thinking about how do we move forward. Then we collaborated with mayors around Greater Boston, and Boston's population is 700,000 people almost, and the Greater Boston area is 2.2 million. And what we found was that we probably need hundreds of thousands of new units of housing in the Greater Boston area to move forward. And what the governor's office did is they put together a housing bond bill, working with Kevin Honan in the legislature, and they passed the largest housing bond bill in the history of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And that bond bill, along with what we're doing and other cities and towns around the greater Boston area doing, are really focused on housing and the opportunity to keep people in communities and keep neighborhoods affordable for people to be able to stay. So as we build new units of luxury housing and middle-class housing, we're also focused on low-income housing and making sure that people have the opportunity, because we understand that it's a right. People should have the right to live in a home. And I'd like to bring up to this podium our partner in this project, but also in so many other projects around Boston, the Governor of the Commonwealth, Charlie Baker.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. And I'm going to work real hard not to repeat what's already been said. Let me just say this. First of all, we really value the relationship that we have with the city, and we really value the relationship we have with so many of the folks in the private sector, both on the build side and on the development side, as well as on the financing side here in Massachusetts and in the city of Boston. I've probably been to, I don't know, a dozen, at least a dozen groundbreakings and probably another dozen ribbon cuttings on housing projects of one sort or another all over the city over the course of the past couple of years. And we were here for the groundbreaking on this one 2 years ago. We're here today to cut a ribbon. And I think there's three things I would say to add to what's already been said. The first is we should all remember that we are sitting on top of what used to be the central artery. The opportunity that was created by the depression of the artery to rethink and reimagine whole swaths of the city of Boston over about 2 miles worth of real estate was significant. And I think it's fair to say that in many ways, the city and the state, working with our colleagues in the private sector, have done some very positive things with that. If you look at what's just happened in this area in particular over the course of the past few years, I mean, it couldn't look any more different or feel any more different than it did before the big, ugly overhead expressway came down. And the second thing I would say is how much we appreciate the fact that these are affordable units here, on top of what is, for all intents and purposes, public land. I mean, one of the things we said we wanted to do as an administration was to put public land to use. And working with our colleagues all across state government, and in many cases with our colleagues in local government, we've put hundreds of parcels of state property back into productive use and have a big pipeline of many more to do the same thing with. And I can't tell you how much satisfaction we get out of seeing what was previously vacant land become productive and important in neighborhoods and communities around the Commonwealth. And I do have to say one other thing. I see Scott Bosworth here from the folks at DOT. This was all part of a big public, federal, state, local project called the Big Dig. So this property in particular, the land that we're sitting on here, required a lot of back and forth with the federal government because the federal government was deeply involved in the actual build of the central artery and all issues associated with land reuse associated with that. And the folks at the state level, and especially the folks at DOT, did a spectacular job of figuring out a way to make what people here in Boston and here in the Commonwealth and what Related Beal wanted to do fit within the framework of what the feds would permit. And it's a real tribute, frankly, Scott, to you and the creativity that your team brought to this. And you spend a lot of time working on a lot of very complicated Rubik's Cubes of one type or another. You don't always get the attention, and I know you don't care, but today you're going to get it because the work you did on this was incredibly important. It wouldn't have happened without it. And the final thing I'll say is when you have folks who recognize and understand that they are in for the long haul, that they want to be part of a community, and then they get the fact that every decision they make, every commitment they make, every time they follow through, they're sort of building a brand and a reputation. It makes a difference. And when you talk about the Beal family, when you talk about the Beal brothers, when you talk about Related Beal and the Beal companies, you are talking about people who, through one project after another over a very long time, have built a tremendous amount of brand and credibility and relationship and reputation here in the Commonwealth and here in the city of Boston. And I am not surprised that they were the ones who chose to pursue this very complicated but very important project. And I had no doubt that it would end up working out in a way that would make everybody extremely excited by the final product. So congratulations to all of you. To the city, I would just say how much we value and appreciate the work and the opportunity we have to work with you. And I hope we continue to spend time at groundbreakings and at ribbon cuttings for more housing up and down the stack: seniors, moderate income families, middle income families, affordable housing, young people. We have a lot of work to do here. We have a big bond bill and a tremendous opportunity ahead of us to build on our historic success. Thank you.
So this is not the part of the speaking session where I go through and I name everybody by name, I promise. But thank you so much to each and every one of you. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks for the partnership, the collaboration. Thank you for your leadership and your vision. We don't just talk about it, we do it. Welcome, Councillor Zakhem. And I want to thank everybody, and we look forward to doing this again with all of you. Thank you, and congratulations.
John.